Hey, good. Did I go? Yes? Yeah, hey, everybody. Good evening. I kind of wasn't hearing certain things, I think, because some firecrackers going off. I think they might be starting the celebration for my birthday tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right, so welcome back to yet another live. I want to just jump right into it. Let me, here it is. I'm looking for this so I can start sharing. But what I'm going to do first, like I like to do every week, is to do a little countdown. All right? Hold on. Okay. I just managed to get out a few. All right. Good evening. Welcome back to another live. It's July 30. Tomorrow being the 31st is my big day, my birthday. And I'm pretty sure some people have already started to actually start sending greetings because the way it came out, um, Facebook decided to do me a favor and run a what do you call it, their campaign for my charity. It was our do a charity of my choice, and I happen to be part of a charitable organization which fundraise for people, for young people, for children in Jamaica actually. So I used the opportunity to set up a fundraiser. I don't think it's going very well at this time at all. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Some people might yet surprise me tomorrow, which I'm hoping will happen. But I'm just sending out a few invitations here. I'm just about almost there. Give me another half a minute or so, and I would have sent, I think I would send out the last one right here. All right, so here we go. What I'm here. That one, that there. Uh-huh. Please share and subscribe. All right. I think my invites have gone out. If anybody missed anything, let me know. Welcome. This evening, why I'm trying to see if I can move on to some of the things some people believe that I have it in for the PNP, People's National Party, but that is not so. The PNP, the People's National Party, seems to have it in for themselves. So they have chosen a leader which maybe more than 2 years now I've been telling them that wasn't their best choice, but they seem to think they know better than the people who are supposed to vote. The voters have been telling them, and they're forcing this person, this character, on the Jamaican people. And we see where sometimes you're wondering if this person is having a meltdown, if he's having a breakdown, because now he's starting to say some very strange things. I just want to see if we can bring back some vibe, the old PNP vibe. And I brought out Michael Manley when he spoke to some people, so to the people back in about, what is it, 73, 74, somewhere around there. He was addressing, he should have spoken at the national arena, but it turned out the arena was too small. And so they went into the stadium. For those who know how to set up, you have the arena for indoor events like, what do you call it, volleyball, or maybe say netball, which Jamaica is, the women are quite good at it. And they sort of moved it into the stadium. So let me just go to him while I just clean up some things here, all right?
The moment of destiny, comrades. We are at a moment of destiny. We have watched the forces at work. And when they hear of your presence here today, oh, what a weeping and a wailing. There are certain places in the world today before I say my few words, because in this atmosphere, I cannot give the speech that I planned. I had planned a major speech, but I do not believe you can hear a major speech today. You must tell me. I don't know if you can take it in the sun. I don't know if you can listen and concentrate. But I will be guided by your judgment. And if you say speak, Joshua will speak.
The Comrade leader described the conditions which existed in Jamaica during the first 10 years of independence.
Bauxite industry was booming in the world. International capitalism was going through one of its periods of prosperity and expansion. We had just become independent. And our rulers had the opportunity to address themselves to the suffering of their land in the middle of the most favorable conditions the world had ever known. And what did they do with those years? At the end of the time, unemployment had doubled. For every one human being that had no work, in 1962, there were 2 that were suffering by 1972. Out of every 10 young people that were looking for training and education beyond the age of 15, 8 out of 10 had to look at the blank wall of poverty. Only 2 could get any training. There were 450,000 small farmers who had nothing but hillside rockstone to scratch. Our bauxite was being mined out of our country like dirt for a pittance. There had been a government in power for 10 years that dared to call itself Labour. And in 10 years, they had never passed one serious piece of legislation to protect the rights of so much as one worker in Jamaica.
Yes, I do. Somebody asked me if I love PNP business. Yes, I love it. Because it has the People's National Party has a very good track record, which is about to be soiled right now. We have a leader, as I say presently, somebody who has been installed as the leader of the People's National Party. But those who know better know that it is more like a party called RUMP, Rise United Movement Party. And they have installed themselves in the PNP, and they have installed a capitalist group of people. And everybody else, all the socialist-minded people have fallen in line behind these capitalists. And right now, it's not playing out very well, despite of whatever they want to say. People may want to start it to say, well, boy, it's all right. I welcome everybody who comes. So let me not even criticize this person. what I'm looking at this evening is what is happening to the party. Sorry. Under the leadership of this gentleman by the name of Massa Mawk. We call him Massa Mawk because he's a misfit. And he's trying to fit into a scenario, into a space that people have outgrown that space where they used to look at the colonialists as the Lord and Master. People see themselves, and it was mainly achieved through the work of a Michael Manley, and he said it. There was a clip I saw with him where he was talking about how he was the one who was responsible for bringing people, black people, to see themselves as equal to others. And we had some missteps, we had some setbacks, because sometimes you have to retreat to advance. And there were some setbacks. And so on this road that we were moving along, we became more of a people who were into the economics of the thing. We had, like most other colonial countries, we reached a point where we are now looking at economic kind of independence. Small island states like Jamaica, is kind of tough for them because they can't produce enough to compete in the world. So they have become more consumer type country, economies. But that's not so much the thing. Yes, because they have become consumer type economies. And so, yes, we have these capitalist people who have woven themselves into the society and is now playing off themselves as the one who have come to save the people. As a call of mine, what's his name, Peter from Queens, like to say, they want to sell themselves as those who want to take care of the people, as against giving people the wherewithal, giving them the tools to work with and to build for themselves. And so they want to be the caretaker of the people. And it's not fitting well. The person who is there is not a good speaker, is not a motivator, is not an inspirational speaker. But let me go and take one cut from this gentleman. We want to look at him. Is there trying to whip up the crowd. He has been saying some very strange things. But one of them is that he has called on the dead PNP people to come to rescue him to help to win an election. Let me play this clip and see what he says.
It's not going to just happen so. We have to make sure that every comrade who voted for the People's National Party in 2011 and delivered the victory, if they're still alive, they have to go vote for Comrade Patrick Peter King when the election call. And even some who are not alive, if them can deal with it, no problem.
Now, that statement is what has triggered a firestorm right across the globe, wherever Jamaicans are. It is illegal to have a dead person vote in Jamaica and anywhere in this United States where I'm sitting. It is illegal for you to put a dead person's name on the ballot, on the voters list. He just, whether it's a gaffe, whether it's stupidity, whether it's ignorance, he just told people to say that he's encouraging the dead to come vote for him. And it has created a firestorm. Now, somebody mentioned something about that date. What is it about that 2011 election? Why has he not seen other elections after 2011 as saying, what about those people who voted? I guess in 2011, the PNP won a good victory at that time, and they ruled for the next, I think, 4 or 5 years after that. And by 2016, there was a new election, and the PNP got voted out. But they didn't do that badly on that time. They just lost by 1 seat. But then there's another election in 2020, which created a problem. The problem that it created was caused by this same man. He and his buddies. They decided that they were going to undermine the party, undermine a gentleman, Dr. Peter David Phillips, undermine everything. Some of them even went out and lost their seats to make sure that they were looking for the shortest distance to get to Jamaica House. At first, they were going to do it through his buddy, Peter Bunting, and it didn't work out. Peter Bunting lost the seat, the party lost everything, which I think that's kind of what they wanted. But they figured by now they would have fallen and, brought things around and they would have been in control. But people have been saying no to this character, Massa Mawk. They've been saying no, and we saw where the pollsters took a poll this year 2 times. This year, one in February and one in June, and we saw where he's sliding like he's in one of these water slides where they slide down the water and drop in the pool. We see him sliding down, losing steam, losing ground. The people just not feeling him. And the way he talks, he doesn't talk with passion. It's like Muta Baruka says, he's talking like somebody who is just like an old man sitting in the park, talking to himself, muttering to himself, going over the things that happen throughout the day. It's just no passion in it. There's nothing to convince or to get people excited about him. But they continue to carry him along. And to the point now, I'm trying to figure him out. And one of the things that come to my mind is that he might have a deficiency when it comes to his vocabulary. I think there's a deficiency there with his vocabulary. So when he's talking, he's using some words and some terms which are not making any sense. He's trying to use the local Jamaican lingua, lexicon, or whatever the correct term for it, where you use the speech of the day, or in whichever culture or group that you're within. When you're in some groups that they call tribes, you can have a language, you can have a dialect, and Jamaica has developed its own set of words or terms or terminology and phrases. And, he tries to use it, he tries to sound Jamaican. We know that he's an Englishman, but he tries to sound Jamaican because he apparently loves the Jamaican culture. He has been hanging out in Jamaica for a long time. And as I mentioned last week, it's easier for a man who's born in England to become prime minister than me, who was born in Jamaica but took on citizenship of another country. They say it would be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for me to become a prime minister of Jamaica unless they went out and changed the constitution. So this guy, because he was born in England under the British rule, which is what we call the Commonwealth, he has a leg up over me to run for prime minister. I have no chance, actually, even if I thought I wanted to do that, which I don't. So he knows he's to hang out, the popular sound systems of the day. He knows them. He knows some of the music. He tries to dance, but to show you how much he's not a part of that culture, when he dances, he's very clumsy with it. Even, I've lived in this country here with plenty white people, and I see white people dance, and they have rhythm. They can dance to reggae music. Everything. They have no problem. This guy, from the time he has been there, he still just have this clumsy thing. It's because it's not inbred in him, like a part of him. said some people here, white people here, they love the thing and they want to be and they learn and they hang out and they go to the clubs and they learn the moves and everybody love and dance the same and can dance. But this man is just not showing like he has it. And so he's talking strange. He's talking strangely. Recently, after he made that comment about the dead people voting, the pressure came on him. The firestorm came. He had to apologize. Let me do one of his apologies here.
That some people have interpreted those remarks as being serious statements of my position on the matter. That is not the case, and I unreservedly withdraw and retract those remarks. I am fully committed to Jamaica having a free and fair electoral system so that our democratic elections are conducted to the highest standards of fairness. I'm fully committed to the elimination of all forms of electoral malpractice, and therefore I have no hesitation in withdrawing those remarks, which, as I've said, were not intended to be taken seriously, but apparently have been taken seriously in some quarters.
No, tell me now, if he went out there and if we were to play back the first clip where he was making that silly statement, he looked pretty serious to me. Was he in a comedy club doing a comedy skit? Or was he seriously trying to persuade people to say, vote for me, I can make it better for you? Because right now, as we know, things are just miserable in Jamaica. Now, when you see people knowing that things are as miserable as they are, and they prefer to say, no, we don't want to, no, we're not getting them. Some people have even started to say, you know what, I would rather just give the vote back to Andrew Condrew, give it back to him and let him go on, because at least by now he would have learned some lessons. This man is coming with this joke thing, trying to tell himself he's going to win an election by, as we say, cracking jokes. And these are serious times. These are not times. It's not a time to be making joke about anything. It's people's lives you're playing with, sir. And so when he's now, look at him, how pathetic he looks. Look how pathetic he looks. He's a man. Where's my thing of him here? Just look how pathetic this man looks. You know, it just says, and he wants to come represent Jamaica. For what? He can't speak. He can't convince anybody. He's not impressing anybody. And so it's not a problem. It's a very, very serious problem. I'm going to go to another clip now. Here, this one. All right. So he was there. Let me hold off on that a second before I play the clip. Now, anybody who is born in Jamaica, early Jamaica, not nowadays Jamaica. Nowadays, the younger kids, they don't know much about this word. But in the early days, back in the 70s and I think maybe up to the 80s, people used to use this word they call tapanaris. Tapanaris. Tapanaris means you're a hoity-toity, a highfalutin, a uptown snob. You're a snob. You don't like the regular people. A tapanaris. They had a song where go, hoity-toity, won't you leave me alone? You're acting like a dry land tourist. You're acting like a tapanaris. A song was actually made by that. Don't remember now who did it, but it was a very popular song back in the days. Because that's how it was. People have things that they look, are characters that in nowadays society that they look down on and will not have anything to do with them. And so that's what it was with this song, Tapanaris. Now this man, he comes and he said he's going to give a speech. And he decided to say when he wanted to become Prime Minister of Jamaica, and when he take over and become Prime Minister of Jamaica, he just been surround himself with these tapanaris people. Now, I tell you, I want to try to figure something out in America that you would say and people just not forgive you for saying it. The best person I can think who tend to do that is Donald Trump. When him go say, he might try play like him is a churchman, and him go say 2 Corinthians, and people still laughing at him for it. That's the kind of thing that he did when he talk about tapanaris. Let me just play the clip.
Need a new direction. The Jamaican people need a government that cares for them. The Jamaican people need an honest government that will look after their interests. The Jamaican people need the People's National Party back in government with Mark Jefferson Golding as the Prime Minister and a tapanaris set of people around me for run the country in the right way in the best interest of the people.
I tell you, I mean, this guy couldn't convince a hornet's nest, even if he stuck his hand inside of the hornet's nest with that kind of personality, with that kind of deadpan, no vibe, no soul to what he's saying. And to say that he's going to surround himself with tapanaris people. No, to me, that is the biggest insult. I hear, a clip. There's a clip that I heard Karen doing, and I'm telling you, when she, and I'll play it later, when she goes into it, and she's saying, you have to listen to him when he's talking, listen to him when he's speaking, because he's saying something to you, and we might find it very funny. No. But if the way he's saying things and he's acting now, you just think of it that when he gets power in his hand, you might not, I don't know, God help you after that. And so this is where the problem is. And when we try to talk and get people to focus, pay attention to what is going on, to say, why is this man doing this? Why is he there? Because he's just a misfit. He doesn't fit the character. It doesn't fit the role of a politician, a real politician, natural politician who can come out and speak brilliant words and nice words and, words with meaning and words with feeling, and to get people to say, yes, we like what this man is saying. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He doesn't bring anything in terms of policy. So far I've not heard him deliver a policy statement yet. He doesn't have anything that he's trying to sell to the Jamaican people more than his Massa self, the Massa persona, the one who was in charge of us all, the one who said, your reward is in heaven. You don't bother eat and live good on earth here, so your reward is in heaven. After you're in the afterlife, that's when people, the African people of Jamaica, that's when you will enjoy what I'm enjoying. He brags about how much he has, how well he has done in the Jamaican society. He brags about it and say he has made his money already, and him is a big lawyer. He got where he got by his his father's fat, as I say. He got there off of his father's fat, because the way he's talking, he's not even talking like they send him to a big name school, it might be Oxford or something, that he ended up in some big what they call scholarship or so, because the father was part of the British, what they call an MBA member of the British Empire. He was sent to Jamaica to come attend to the polio people in Jamaica and to develop a hospital for it. And he came and he did this job. He met a fine Jamaican woman and married him, and they produced this character. But something seemed to be amiss with the way how he thinks, the way how he's going about it. I'm sorry if I'm not, making too many people happy by talking about some other person. Let me see if anybody is saying anything. Good evening. Yes, Marlene Carr. No worries, sir. You will never see a Chaka Chaka leader as PM in Jamaica. So people are, it's not me alone. We are seeing it. Even though I call him Massa Mawk, them call him Chaka Chaka. Because the reason, for those who don't know the word Chaka Chaka, it means a person who doesn't know how to dress. You don't dress well, and so he doesn't look good when he comes out. But back to what we're saying, to say that this man, he started his life off of the fat of the Jamaican people, and he got through life. There's another person I knew, we know, who got through, and I say more like off his father's name, and that is George Bush Jr. George Bush Jr. went to one of the top universities, I think Yale. But if you check George Bush, he cannot measure up to people who came through the normal way, the regular way, where you have to earn it through a lot of doing well in exams and passing and doing well through school, and he got up into this higher level of society. But when you hear him sometimes, when he talks, you feel sorry for him. And this is the same thing what I think is happening to this guy. There's a deficiency there where he's not able to, he's showing like a lack of ability to think things through. There's a thing I wish I could get what do you call it there, a psychologist, if a psychologist would show up in this group, this live, and we could talk about this, where when a person, there's a thing in your brain that they call a filter. There's a filter in your brain that when you're thinking of something, or when you're gonna say something, if you see a person doing or look a certain way or behave a certain way, you try to be as diplomatic as possible. When you're in a normal functioning brain, you try to see what I can get rid of this. I don't know why it's here. Clear. Get out of here. Yeah. A normal functioning brain, you'll be able to, he doesn't speak very well, right? This person said, let me call the people's name, Hash, saying he does not speak very well. Before it was Annette Williams, and before it was Marlene Carr, and prior to that it was Amoy Vassell. And right. So this filter that is in his brain, apparently it's not working. Usually when people have certain conditions, psychological conditions, Donald Trump suffers from something like that. He says things which normally you don't say these things, but that's how his brain works. That's it, because it's apparently is lacking this filter. You remember the time when Donald Trump said, we call them shithole countries, and him cuss them, but he had said Donald, and him talking to me about black countries, and he was some crazy thing about black people. But at the same time, at that time, Donald Trump will come tell you, black people made a major contribution to the American society, or the building of America. And would even tell you black people built America. But there's another time he will say some crazy thing and tell the police must bash black people head, young black boys' head against the car top, and just sound like he's this big time racist. But he have a lot of black friends. And so, but this thing where this filter is not working in his brain, and he just say these crazy things. So this is the same thing that I think is going on with this Massa Mawk guy, where this filter is not working very well. I'm not a clinical psychologist, but I did some little thing in it, so I can have a little bit of understanding of the thing. So the filter is not working, so he would just say whatever comes to him up. So for him to tell somebody, the dead people to come vote, I may have my tapanaris friend when I go bring them, surround myself with my tapanaris friend. That is not normal. This is not normal. What time is it now? Why? Time flies fast. It's 9:36. Let me just say this before I go any further. I'm going to ask everybody, please, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to this live. Subscribe. And I want to remind you about my what you call it here. Tomorrow is my birthday, and Facebook has given me the opportunity to do some fundraising, and I've put together the package. I'll tell you, I'm not feeling happy about it. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. I'm saying, boy, I feel so bad because nobody don't like me enough to even give me a few dollars so I can send to some kids in Jamaica to get them ready for school in September. We have been fundraising, and we have been caring for these kids for over 15 years. Not the same set of kids. As they grow out of the primary school system and go into high school, while they're in primary school, the ones in the inner city communities who can't take, their parents don't have it, maybe their mother died. It started actually in Jamaica when the AIDS epidemic was running crazy. And we used to do that, take care of them. Sound like insensible to you. Yeah, she's asking if I'm sound like insensible to me. No, it's something is wrong. I'm telling you, something is definitely wrong, and we're going to try to get through it this evening. Because my question is Mawk Golding really going, some people think he's going crazy, because maybe the pressure of the thing, maybe he has taken on something and he's just saying these crazy things. Because before we saw him, before he got up where he is right now to be leader of the opposition, it was like at one point he was the Minister of Finance, and I used to laugh at his jokes, like when he teased what's his name, Nigel Clark. And then we found out later on that it is a common thing with him that he goes around and he was saying things that you wonder, why is he saying those kinds of things? And it's turning out that it is, you cringe to say, what else is he going to say crazier than what he has already said? Let me move back up and see if I can bring out another clip. Let me see which other one I want to bring here. We did this one about, did I do the tapanaris? Yeah, do the tapanaris one. Massa Mawk. All right. So now, Massa Mawk now, him go out and him tell himself, say, he must go really make you know, say, him is Jamaican. So him go get a little preacher man. I don't know if him say like a man on the sidewalk doing thing I preach. And him say, yeah, man, bring him on, make him come preach for me. I don't know if somebody has set him up. Maybe them people will come out of there, I set a place like Brown Burke or something. Then if I try to set him up to make him look stupid, because I don't know why I'm saying or doing the things. So him go out and him go find a little man for come pray for him at one of the functions that, they have all these conferences for people who don't know and those who know. They have the constituency conferences are going on, and he tries to be at all of them because they're selling him to the people that don't know him. So this is a grand opportunity for them to sell him to the people. So he went out and he got a little preacher man who doesn't sound like him finished primary school. But the preacher man started saying some crazy thing. Now, remember, I'm telling you, Massa Mawk has a problem. He has a mental, it sounds like it's mental. It sounds like him saying all these things, but him get the preacher man, and the preacher man is so daft that the preacher man is praying from in public about all of these weaknesses. Listen to this. And some of us have already heard it, but listen to this one.
Disappointment. I pray against failure. I pray against embarrassment. I pray against, oh God Almighty, mental disorder. I pray against confusion. I pray against mix-up spirit. And I declare that he will think straight. He will walk straight. He will sign straight. He will, oh God Almighty, he will debate straight. He will argue straight. Everything that he does will be done straight. For a straight leader we want. Holy Ghost leader. Godly leader. In the name of Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. I feel sanctified by the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. Our ancestors didn't come here as free people. Our ancestors didn't come here as free people. Blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. I pray against, oh God Almighty, mental disorder. I pray against confusion. I pray against mix-up spirit. And I declare that you will think straight.
This is just so funny. This should be on Saturday Night Live. I tell you, man. This one gets me every time. The pastor he's praying about all of the problems that this Massa Mawk guy has, about mental disorder, about talking nonsense, about it just, I mean, it must, I see Angela Brown Burke in a one corner crack up, and then some must have with a guy named Daytona, Campbell in another one. I can't have them a laugh. I'm saying, are they setting up this guy? What are they hoping to achieve? What are they hoping to get out of this? Is it that they know that, is he not so normal upstairs, and they know that if we are going to be so excited about this Uptown Brown thing, and we're going to, or this Massa Mawk thing, or this colonialist picnic thing, is it that they think we're so excited about it that we're going to just vote him in and give it to him? Because, Michael Manley was quite light complexion. Siaga was a Lebanese, but, white man, white Lebanese. A lot of these people were, they were there. And they Siaga was a white man. Michael almost was a white man, you know, but Mixon father was a darker man and mother was a white English woman. But these people, when they talk, they inspire people. This guy can inspire a hornet's nest to get busy if you throw fire inside of them nest. You know, nothing. He's just there, and he's talking all of this nonsense about him feel holy and sanctified. I tell you, it reminds me of Donald Trump when him go say 2 Corinthians. Anybody in the church business knows say say 2 Corinthians. It's 2 Corinthians. So him just say, boy, I feel sanctified like it. And I said, come on, I mean, this is just too funny, you know. And somebody needs to help him. Somebody needs to rescue him. Somebody needs to save him from himself, because this is not going good at all. We're looking like a clown show right now, Jamaica, looking like a little clown show, because we have lost, I think we probably lost all respect all over the world for people who used to look to us for guidance, for, you know, when we had great leaders. Right now, everybody, we're more excited to know about Mia Motley. Because when she talks the language of the people, and she talks the things that we want to hear. I would love somebody to get things going for us so we can get going as a people, you know. But the Jamaican people are in a bad shape, because when you look and see what has happened with the business places in Jamaica, where all of it has been taken over by the Chinese, the people sold off everything to the Chinese. I know they're sitting and waiting at the mercy of the Chinese. And I'm telling Chinese, I appreciate what they're doing in Africa, and I appreciate what they're trying to do throughout the world, but you can't leave yourself to the mercy of the Chinese people. They're not the kindest, sweetest people. You go to China, they're the most racist, you see. And we are going to have to teach them how to love other people, because they were locked away for a long time. From 1949 to somewhere maybe about the 70s, they never saw the outside world. So they only saw themselves. When they see any other people, especially black people, they go bonkers and they go super racist, and they go ballistic with their racism. So so that is the thing with this Massa Mawk and this preacher man. The man is there preaching. And then what it makes, the other one that cracked me up in all of that is the second part of that tape, is when Massa Mawk said, our foreparents came as slaves. I want to teach Massa Mawk something. It's not every last black person you see in Jamaica came as slaves. Not were taken into slavery. These are people who were kidnapped from the motherland, from the African continent, and brought into the West and made slaves. They were enslaved. Some black people were here long before even the Indians. They were here. They established kingdoms all over the Latin America, South America, Central America. I went to Central America. I went to Mexico, and I saw pyramids that you see right back up in Egypt. They were here because there was a king of Egypt who had sent out some people and said, go populate other parts of the earth. And they found the Caribbean, they found the West Indies, they found Central America, South America, North America. They were here. So even if I'm just say, boy, some of us and try fit in somewhere, we can say, yeah, the white man did come the way there. But him say, including himself, came as slave. You did not come to the Caribbean as no slave, sir. Your father came, you never come on the slave ship. Your father didn't come on the slave ship. Again, as somebody said to me, he came on a cruise ship. The ship that would bring people, live this luxury life out on the seas, the high seas, for maybe a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, from England to come to Jamaica. That's how he came. He might have, maybe the airline industry had started by I think he came in 1953. So there was some kind of airline business that started by then. And so he could have come on an airline, or he come on a cruise ship, the ships that cruised from all the way up in England down into the Caribbean. Your father didn't come on no slave ship, right? And I said, some black people, is not every last black person came on the slave ship. They were here before. part of those people who they call the Maroons are those people. Some of them, because they were the ones who were already here, some of them were forced into slavery. And they when they had a deal, there was a struggle between England and Spain, and they escaped, and they, you know, started the 100-year war with the British when the British took over. So please don't tell yourself you're coming in as slavery, because that is another joke. That's another something that tells me that something is not right with upstairs here. Something is going on. Somebody need a psychiatrist or a psychologist need to sit this man down and get into his brain and see what they can find out about him, because you cannot take somebody who has a mental problem to put them in charge of people's lives. You don't know what this man is going to get up and do any day. Why are people in Jamaica, educated people? Is it this thing we heard this professor with my guy called Peter from Queens called Professor, what should we call her again? Stupid or something like that. She come out and what's her name, Carlin Cooper, who came out and said, boy, she think, you know, black people shouldn't run for office because them thief. And this is a black woman saying that. You know, so I don't, it's like you have some black people down in Florida talking some crazy talk to about and joining in with Ron DeSantis, Ron DeSantis, talking them nonsense. You have some black people talk that nonsense too. And here's Carlin Cooper, who's supposed to be Dr. Carlin Cooper. She wears her kente cloth every day. And she says she not think black people should have run anything because them can't run anything. It's only white people can run things. So maybe that's where I'm getting them teaching from Carlin, Dr. Carlin Cooper, you know, retired professor at the University of the West Indies, nonetheless. So, you know, you wonder what the hell. I think somebody in Jamaica, some shrink in Jamaica need to take a look at this guy, need to sit him down and evaluate him to see if there is something going on. Why is he telling himself he's from the black experience? Because he was born in Jamaica. Why is he telling himself that him going to bring him tapanaris friend them come around and make him be the king? What type of nonsense is this? We need somebody to take a look at this man. Where's my time now? Yeah, all right, moving. Let me go to my other clip. This one here now. All right, let me bring in Karen, because Karen was doing something. I took out a piece of it, and I hope you don't mind, Karen. So here you go.
Step up and get busy and get wicked for the next time.
Him is not a good man. That is just all there is about Mawk Golding. Him is not a good person. Him is not a real person. Him is a deceitful, deceptive, and cruel man who don't give two hoots of a damn about anybody or anything apart from himself. And none of you, all of you hanging out with him out there, none of you will have a place in a Mawk Golding orbit should by some twist of fate. That fool should become leader of this country.
A few moments later.
The Jamaican people need the People's National Party back in government with Massa Golding as the Prime Minister and a tapanaris set of people around me to run the country in the right way, in the best interest of the people.
We do not pay attention to him, we do not study him, we do not understanding him, we do not listening to him talk, we do not watching him. We don't need to watch him and listen to him and study him. Him is untrustworthy.
Kibba your mouth and shut up. Kibba your mouth and shut up.
Mawk Golding is the kind of guy who, if by some miracle or by some twist of fate, that the people of this country should elect him Prime Minister, all of in him orbit now would not be there. Unu would not be there. We would want to around him. He be roping him white people them and him top brown people them and running away. Mawk Golding is that type of person.
Well, I tell you, if people are listening after that passionate plea from Karen, you know, well, them deserve whatever them get. If they don't listen and act, let me go back and pick up some of the what people are saying. All right, so Lana, I know something I don't have to be pushing my face up in that. I can't distort my face. Let me see if I can get this thing to let me see chat publicly. See, live chat. All right. So let me see. Oh, come on. I can read from my phone here. So, Asha, he does not speak well. Well, I did that already. Asha, socially awkward with no filter, not malfunctioning filter. I'm not so sure. Maybe that should be not that is she's trying maybe saying he has a malfunctioning filter. Annette Williams, Perkins, Massa Mawk sound like him sensible to you. This is Annette, my favorite antagonist. And then so Hashash, him have a pondering down. Yeah, Jesus. They're gonna leave it alone that we don't write this so. Annette Williams, same problem, lady. No Perkins, they must left themselves to the mercy of White Backer Massa Mawk and his tapanaris friends then. You see, people are just making a mockery of the thing right now. And when they talk, people want to say, boy, we must let them alone. But I think the Jamaican people now need to stop and start seriously listening, start seriously paying attention to what he's saying. Because if he's talking like this very strange way, like he's not normal, what if you put him in charge? Him can get up any day and come up with any crazy off the wall idea what he want to do with people, and then we start ball and wall red and ball and run on because you have the set of people who will protect him and keep him there no matter what kind of wickedness he's inflicting on the people. You see? You might tell us, boy, when you see him come out, you must throw down yourself on the ground and prostrate yourself in front of him because he is king of all and lord of all. Because already we have one who thinks he's Caesar. He thinks he's a pharaoh. The other one I heard was his partner, Bunting. He's trying to talk about how him and him people escaping from the Egyptians. No, you're talking Peter Bunting. We hear you don't see yourself as a black person. But when you talk about the Egyptians, you're talking about black people. Be careful where you frame black people, real black people. The Egyptians they are the ones who gave us pretty much everything the world knows today. It gave us philosophy, it was mathematics, it was astronomy, it gave us science, it gave us any and everything. It gave us engineering, it gave us architecture, it gave us pretty much everything as we know life today. Everything was stolen from that place with the conquest, when Alexander overran that place. They took every book out of that place and took it up into Greece, into Italy, and wherever else. All these people who come and tell us that them named Pythagoras and them of a theorem, it was straight out of Egypt those things came from. So be careful how you try to frame Egypt as some characterize Egypt. That's the place that gave us knowledge, that gave us any and everything we know today. So don't be playing that kind of nonsense game with that place, because that is the beginning of anything, the brain of the world, that place. So let me see who else is saying something. No, nobody is saying anything right now. So this is pretty much where we have found ourselves, and some people don't want to address it. Some people don't want to look at it because they think you should not be going after this Bakramasa character to say that we hurting his feeling or we hurting whatever. But in truth and in fact, if you, with all of the people in Jamaica with the great degrees from some of the greatest universities in the part of the earth, it's a man in China, it's them from Russia, it's them from even Ukraine, which is under pressure. You see them from United States, United Kingdom, all over France, people that kind of thing. None of you who do these they call psychology degree. None of you not seeing what is going on. You just average little man in the street who has no influence like myself. We seeing it. That something is wrong. The man has a problem. And it is a dangerous problem. You don't, Hitler, if some people had taken Hitler serious from day one, Germany would have saved itself a whole heap of problems. But Hitler had a problem. You understand? He had a problem. And this is why it is so dangerous when we see certain people want to come back to power in America. They have mental problems, and you don't know what they're going to do or say from 1 minute to the next. So Jamaican people will wake up and ask them to replace this guy. He has a problem. The man is showing that he has a problem upstairs. Why is he saying these things? Why is he doing these things? And I promise you, he might go say something more crazy next week, and I may have to come back to it. I'm trying to move away because I know some people, hey, you don't want you to say on teams and you just so and so and so. But it is what it is. If some people, because them get caught up with it and then become part of it, and so them pretend like them don't see it. Let me see who this is. Probably Peter making his way in. Hold on 1 second. So you see, we need people to really step up now and take charge. Peter, what's going on? How are you doing?
How you doing, Mr. Perkins?
We're good. One for you. What you say?
Well, I just wanted to come and comment and tell you thank you very much for playing that clip of Michael Manley to start off the program, because too many young people, especially young Jamaicans then, they have a very skewed opinion of poor Michael. And there have been a lot of propaganda, negative propaganda against this great man. And one of the things I want to say to the Jamaican people is that Michael Manley was a wealth creator. Michael Manley was a wealth creator. Michael Manley fought all of his life against this tapanaris people. You know, the terminology for tapanaris is not even highfalutin, you know. The terminology for tapanaris is a poverty pimp. These guys were poverty pimp. And let me explain something to the Jamaican people what a poverty pimp is. A poverty pimp is a person or entity that will suck out the wealth of the Jamaican people. And then, when they do that, they go buy them fancy house and fancy car like a Mercedes Benz or a Beamer. And then they turn around to the Jamaican people and say, I'm going to give you a poverty job. You know what the poverty job is? To wash my car. The poverty pimp give you a poverty job to wash them car, Mr. Perkins.
I bought your new weed whacker this week. And tell you something, you take a poverty job created by the poverty pimp, and you can't buy a house, you can't buy land, you can't buy food, you can't pay rent, you can't pay light, you can't buy clothes, you can't even buy a car, you can't even buy even a donkey. That's a poverty job, Mr. Perkins. And Michael Manley fought all of his life against these poverty pimps, creating these poverty jobs. And now what has happened to Jamaican people? The PNP party now overrun with a Massa Mawk because he's a poverty pimp. Everybody must make that known. He's a poverty pimp, Massa Mawk. Massa Mawk is a poverty pimp because Massa Mawk's philosophy is if you have house, if you have land, if you have car, you must come send man to come capture it. You must have nothing at all. You have the Prime Minister in her office right now, a hand out donkey rather than a give car. And you have Massa Mawk that about him going to make government come take care of you rather than give the mechanism to come take care of yourself. The country is overrun. Parliament full of the poverty pimp, Mr. Perkins. They might vote themselves 300% increase in their salary. Where the money come from to pay them? Your tax money, Jamaican people, or your tax money that pay them poverty pimp salary. You go out and you work every day.
You can't buy chicken back, pay light, pay rent, buy clothes. You got poor women that talk about, please, Mr. Prime Minister, give me a donkey. The Prime Minister handed a mirror and said, looking at the mirror. The woman said, but you don't see nothing in the mirror. The Prime Minister said, yes. I look at that salary for your ride because you're a jackass. Where you come asking to come buy donkey for?
In today's, what you say, this is the problem I'm finding, that something in there, the self-esteem of the people has gone down badly. Because, you know, most people don't bother with things prior to even say maybe 1990. They move on from that. No, you have to be going to some deep rural areas up in the mountains in Ethiopia and see people full on donkeys. This in Jamaica, what is happening is that instead of building people some road, decent road, so them can drive in and out of them like a piece of scratch land where them give them. As somebody say, they need to give them a decent piece of land so them can produce, because this is a woman who wants to produce. So what the Prime Minister should have found out at that time, where she lives, how can he get her a decent piece of land, so she wouldn't have to need no donkey for go way up in the hillside. Later on, if you give her a decent piece of land to, you know, arable land to produce, she probably could have buy a donkey without asking for it. If I were him, I would be ashamed to say that in today's modern Jamaica, he went out to buy her a donkey, gave her a donkey. I think that's such an insult to black people. You know, that's the way you're pushing us in today's modern world, when you have all kind of different technology that could, you know, make that woman produce and get her things out of that field without a donkey. But as you say, she see her as a donkey.
Mr. Perkins, the problem I said before is the country is overrun with poverty pimps. A tapanaris is a poverty pimp. And Mawk Golding wants to surround himself with tapanaris, poverty pimps.
Let me do this one more time for you, Peter, and everybody else.
People need a new direction. The Jamaican people need a government that cares for them. The Jamaican people need an honest government that will look after their interests. The Jamaican people need the People's National Party back in government with Mark Jefferson Golding as the Prime Minister and a tapanaris set of people around me to run the country in the right way, in the best interest of the people.
Oh boy, that's so funny. You are going again, Peter. I never know we're going to reach this stage. We're going so far. Man, I talk about AI and do things where you make some machine going in the field, take out the thing. You have to talk about the tapanaris and get donkey. Go on again. So we sorry to interrupt you, because I was just tempted to do that.
Mr. Perkins, you can interrupt all you want to know, because I'm not going to say point blank is that somehow or another, we don't understand what's going on in Jamaica, because the people them dazzled by this nonsense. Them have man, I talk about him about bringing tapanaris people and poverty pimps, and then forget the teaching of Michael Manley brought in and built so many houses for the Jamaican people. After I would start giving them away. He bought so many houses for Jamaican people. He built so many houses. In get the teachers them house, the junior doctors and the policemen. He created wealth. Michael Manley tried to come and create a backside cartel so that we could get more money for our backside. You have the crime minister sell our backside company for $1. For $1.
Oh man, as for that one, you know, I mean, when we hear somebody I'm running a program with some rare earth minerals that are in the bauxite, the dirt itself, and in the red mud, that process where they wash it first and before, because they take it bauxite and they turn it into alumina, and then ship it out. Instead of take it to aluminum in Jamaica, which is where the real money is, them sell it. It used to be, they used to get a thing. Michael Manley worked out something to say, let's get a cess, a percentage of, you know, every ton that you ship out. We get a certain amount of money for it. They took that away, took away the cess. It wasn't even a big amount of money, but it was enough to help the country. They took that away and now they're actually giving away the backside for free. Who does things like that? If you have something and you have to be giving it away for free, you need to stop, shut it down, and try and figure it out. You're giving away, and them come and tell you, boy, we're not making the money. Them took them. So now, when I hear of the person, must have Andre, I heard going through the thing, and he did some research on it. And when you look at the different rare earth minerals that come out of the backside, dirt, some of them is $200, $300, whatever dollars at not even a ton, is maybe something like gram or something like that what I'm getting. And then it's way more valuable. And you know, hear nobody say, no, we're going to put a stop to this. Them still getting them and come, and everybody rushing into Jamaica, and them don't even have the common sense. This is why I wanted to talk to Philip Powell again, you know. But I don't know if I need to say what him tell me. It's good what he told me, and I don't want to put him business out there because I don't know if he wants it out there like that. But hopefully, when he gets back in the mix, he can talk something about it, because to me, somebody with sense need to be around. You would think a man like Mawk Gold, Massa Mawk, I don't call him right now because I don't want him come tell me no nonsense. With Massa Mawk would have been working on building up this bauxite industry, building it up to say, let's stop. You're giving that away for free. What are you doing? You're hoping against hope that these people are going to give you some money. They're going to tell you, oh, we made a profit, and you're going to get $500 million. It's not going to happen. That's how these people work. They don't work like that. They're not going to give you anything. They want it free, and you're giving it to them. This is not a Massa Mawk. We're talking about the other idiot who run the government. You take it up and you're giving it to them. And, the Prime Minister. You know, stop and say something right about this picture. I have to stop. I can't give it away. When you figure it out, do you know that when the rare earth minerals were discovered in the backside, when Powell was still energy minister, I think he was energy minister, when he was still in government, and he looked at he found out this, he and the Japanese did the experiment and they found the rare earth minerals inside of the thing, inside of the Red Mud Lake. Do you know they said we're not going to touch it right now? There's an agreement with them and the Japanese not to touch it yet because there was a glut of these rare earth minerals. There was a glut, and they said, no, just hold back until they exhaust out whatever. Now, everything that you have, more electric cars are being built. These materials are used to make the batteries. They're used to make things in the cell phone. No cell phone can be done without these minerals or whatever the material that is coming out of these red mud things. So all them have to do is stop it for a while, because if we're not getting any money, what's the point? Why are we giving it away when we know valuable stuff is in that? It is in the backside, is in the red mud.
Can I answer the question, Mr. Perkins?
Go ahead, man.
Answer the question for the Jamaican people. Because the people that are doing these things, from the Prime Minister to Massa Mawk, they're all poverty pimps. They're not interested, Mr. Perkins, in creating wealth for the Jamaican people. They're not interested in creating prosperity for the Jamaican people. They want to give the Jamaican people poverty jobs. Poverty jobs where you can't buy food, you can't pay rent, you can't pay light, you can't buy clothes, you can't buy land, you can't buy house, but you have a job.
Yeah.
They're interested,
Yeah.
Mr.
So that is it. You know, I'm going to tell you the reason why the reason why he allows the bauxite companies to continue to, the foreign bauxite companies to continue to rob Jamaica is because rape the country. Because them say they have some people, them have how many jobs now? Maybe say 200 jobs or 300 jobs. No, the jobs these guys have are just weed whacker jobs. These poverty jobs they're talking about. They are weed whackers. Them go around and sweep up the yard, them go clean the toilet, them go, maybe paint a building here, paint a building there. Nothing of any kind, because there's very little outside of that type of job that they will need them for. They're bringing their own engineers, they're bringing their own equipment. Them probably don't even show the Jamaicans how to drive these things. So this nonsense has to stop somewhere, and this is This is the kind of leader that we should be looking for now to fill that opposition spot, to be getting ready to move out the Prime Minister out of the way and to bring this new leadership. But you're bringing a man whose brain is not even functioning right. Why is he saying, look at the way he's there skanking like a rude boy. That's what I'm bringing to the Jamaican people. The part of it that I miss talking about is when him talk about, him say something like, it all get wicked. It all get wicked. I probably should play the damn thing again. It all get wicked. What is he talking about?
But Mr. Perkins, what is he talking about when he said his ancestors come over as enslaved people? It's a wicked lie. His people came over on a luxury cruise ship, the SS Colonialists. The black and brown people of Jamaica come over in the dirty, filthy depths of slave ships. Someone need to slap the teeth of arrogance out of this man's mouth, Mr. Perkins. They need to slap the teeth of arrogance out of his mouth. He might talk about his ancestors come over on slave ship. Then come up on a luxury cruise ship, the SS Colonialists, and them talk this nonsense to Jamaica, and them blow vuvuzela. When them say this nonsense, this is what my guy telling you, Mr. Perkins. When them say to you, when you find jackass, you ride them.
You know, I watched that same clip when him bring the preacher man, and the preacher man is there doing this thing, and I mean, the man was just calling out all of Massa Mawk's faults. And him stand up there and then him say, I feel sanctified. Sanctified for what? Over what? But this is a continuation that they want to do, is continue to fool the people with these nonsense talk about sanctified. Sanctified for the man just tell you, say you're an idiot and you feel sanctified. You know, man just spell him out, you're an idiot. We're going to pray from see if we can make you start think straight. We're going to make you see if you can walk straight. Because you're not doing these things right now. So we're going to pray for you, see if we can help you. And that's what the man I said to him, and him saying feel sanctified. What, Peter?
I said that come over and see you. When they come over and love the cruise ship, Mr. Perkins. SS Colonialist. This a man, that's what we call him General Half Idiot, you know, because he is a half idiot being followed by full fools.
I tell you, I'm going to...
Idiot leading a full fools, Mr. Perkins. And then they turn around and them do these poverty kill jobs. They're so interested in creating wealth. Like Michael Manley. I'm glad you play that clip about Michael Manley because the country is desperately needing to get another Michael Manley. For this man, General Half Idiot, Massa Mawk, but he was lying at the feet of Michael Manley. Doing what? Like a lapdog? You know Michael Manley. Michael Manley was a man who was creating wealth.
If I start calculating his age now, him probably was about 6 when Michael back in the 70s. Him probably was about 6, maybe 12 at most. So which parent would have been sending out a little boy to go and hang out in somebody yard for all hours a night? When everybody gone home, it's like him want to implicate the man in some BS. When everybody gone home, him go, what is he doing there? My mother would have never let me go over on a body yard and be in a body yard and put way past when everybody else gone. Why I'm not there when everybody else is there? Is when them gone.
Mr. Perkins never know when to go home. And they found a Christopher for Mr. Perkins. And I said to you again, the man is a half idiot. He is a half idiot, but a poverty king. Both him are going to him tapanaris friend. Because guess what? The other poverty pimp around this country, the crime minister, he might hang out donkey instead of hang out car. You know them of us that coming out in America with the president of the United States, Eisenhower, come out and say he want a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. But now they're not Jamaica, them turn it different now in Jamaica. They want chicken pot in everybody's pot and donkey in
the backyard. Hey, Peter, I'm going to put it down, because I have some other stuff to go deal with this evening, and I have to be on the road early tomorrow. I want to appreciate your calling in and contributing to this live. I want to thank everybody who joined in and spent the time with me. It's now just about, 10:16, so more than enough time spent here. I hope I help some people to kind of open some eyes, some minds to say what is going on and how we can do to put a stop to this, because this should not be happening, because you have somebody who has a mental problem, who they are preparing to become Prime Minister of Jamaica. And this is not a joke, because when we look at, I probably should play this preacher man one more time, because I think this is where the thing, let me see, where is it now? The preacher. Let me listen to it before I go.
Disappointment. I pray against failure. I pray against embarrassment. I pray against, oh God Almighty, mental disorder. I pray against confusion. I pray against mix-up spirit. And I declare that he will think straight. He will walk straight. He will sign straight. He will, oh God Almighty, he will debate straight. He will argue straight. Everything that he does will be done straight. For a straight leader we want. Holy Ghost leader. Godly leader. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah. I feel sanctified by the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. Our ancestors didn't come here as free people. Our ancestors didn't come here as free people. Blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors.
I pray against, oh God Almighty, mental disorder. I pray against confusion. I pray against mix-up spirit. And I declare that you will think straight.
This is just too funny.
Mr. Perkins, listen to me. All I can say now is that, listen, I hope people can share and subscribe, but I'm begging the Jamaican people to stop laughing on back and stop getting rid of other jackals. Stop following these tapanaris, poverty pimps, handing out poverty jobs. We're better than that. We don't need no more poverty jobs from these poverty pimps. We have to come out and put an end to this.
Nobody say anything else before I shut it down. I think that's the same thing. I think, well, no, a couple of people said some stuff. Let me read it off of the phone, so I don't have to push my face up in that thing there. Hold on 1 second. Let me go and get this out fast. This is just too funny. Come on. Where are you? Live chat. Come on. 1 second. I just want to read something that the people wrote, because I appreciate them. And come on. Where's this thing? Where is it doing this to me? Live chat. All right, I got it back. So, and they must left themselves to the mercy. Yeah. Him gave pandering. All right. So Annette said, no Perkins. They must left themselves to the mercy of White Backer, Massa Mawk, and his tapanaris friend them. Yeah, me read that already. Graham Sam, the lady knows her need and asks for what will help her. So why are you people so dumb? Well, we understand what you're saying, and you have a point there, but we also say what the Prime Minister needs to be doing is fixing the roads. Some, not just one person benefit with one donkey, but you get, to be serving the bigger, the wider community, even if it was just that area. So, I hear what you're saying to say she asked for what she want, but because the road them so bad, that's where that is coming from. Mark Humble said, somebody named Humble, thanks for joining Humble. Mark build PNP on lies. Yeah, you might try to build PNP on lies. It is sad what is going on, but I hope that eventually people will come to really see what we're saying. Sometimes it takes a little while for everybody to join on. And so we're not trying to browbeat anybody to say join us into what we think, but seriously, sometimes we need to just pull back and look at the things that are being done and are being said. And because we could just look at this Massa Mawk guy and think him is being so good, but But you know, at the end of the day, something is wrong with what he's doing, and same thing goes for conjure whole mess as for based on what I call him. Where I see Annette, she's saying are they something with the woman beg and get una have running belly. Yeah, Miss Annette, we know some me touch your can when me just touch the one day, but the truth of the matter, if you think about it, we are saying that it's time we get out of this thing where them use themselves as a pimp, and where them a pimp off is poverty. Instead, I said, let's see how we can build up what is wrong, why this lady had to come beg for a donkey, as against ask for some kind of transportation or some get the road fixed so she can have, or can he buy a bus or a van, or I wouldn't say a bus, a little van for the area, because I don't think she's the only one in there farming. But what can I do to make it so we have a greater number of people benefiting from whatever I put out? You know, and that you know, him the prime minister, not me, but him the prime minister. How can we do something to benefit a greater number of people? That lady, yes, she get one. You have some little people get some little one house here, one woman get a one house over there, so and one other one they get where the man with the name, the peanut vendor, they come in and then we get big up in the parliament. That's not, you know, we have to look at ways how we serve the wider community, which is what Peter from Queens is saying, that when Michael was there, Michael was building houses and he was making sure that the teachers get the houses, that nurses get house, that, you know, junior doctors get house, and, you know, so they're not getting the biggest pay, but they would have to worry about rent. And eventually those same people who Michael helped from all the way back in the 70s, those houses which were being sold for like $2,000 are now $50 and $60 million and more, because some of them were built. I know one that was built up, you know, Michael didn't build it. It was a hotel that was built, kind of a hotel that was built inside a cherry garden. Just as you turn up into cherry garden, somewhere off Birdsucker, there is this development, and it was because the people ran away. Michael took it and he gave it to teachers, and those teachers, they own the thing, they own it outright. So those of them who, some of them might have sold out a while back, those who still own it, those places are now worth $60 and $70 million. So that's what we're talking about, wealth creation. When we talk about wealth creation versus you get a donkey, the donkey got dead at some point and have no value. But then if they do something, fix the road and find a way to say, oh, I can get more of the community involved, you'll be building wealth, because them probably can develop a cooperative where they bring one tractor or something to, you know, work the fields, and everybody's, you know, support each other, and you bring out a greater production that way. So that's kind of what we're talking. Instead of just think of the poverty way of giving them a little, as I'm saying, you give a man a fish and him eat for a day, but you teach him to fish and you feed a nation. So that's the kind of thing. We, not so much that we don't think it's the worst thing that happened, but we think it could have been, you know, better handled, or something different and better could have been done. I was getting ready to pull it down, and I think, Peter, we have exhausted our point here, and I don't like to go past a certain point. It's now 10:25, so I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for coming on and for contributing, and I thank all of my people there who joined in this evening. Thank you. Go worry about how for our risers, dregs, ambush the PNP and have them knees on its head, they can't breathe. But Annette, if you have to help in this fight, you know, for bringing it out, you know, because truth be told, at the end of the day, and this donkey head person get control of the country, it's not just PNP people going to suffer, you know, is everybody, all Jamaicans. So that's why when we are fighting for the thing is, when I'm speaking up, using my little platform to speak up, I'm not speaking just for me alone or for just a few, I'm talking for the whole country. To say, based on my knowledge, based on what I know, I am saying something dangerous is playing out here, and we need to put a stop before we live to regret it. All right? So thanks, Annette, for joining in. But
Mr. Perkins, all I want to say again is just please share, like, and subscribe, and to the Jamaican people, one simple message: fight the tapanaris, fight the poverty, pink them. take the saddle off in the back and stop getting ridden.
Thank you, sir. Let's close it down at that. Ladies and gentlemen, Annette, Humble, who else? I think the first person was Amoy. All of you guys, thank you, Marlene Carr, thank you, Hash. Thank you for joining in, trying to go through them as fast as possible. Just thanks a million for joining. And for those who, let me just close out by saying, look out for my my campaign where I'm fundraising using my birthday. The Facebook was kind enough to give me this thing, and I want some people to throw some money in the kitty to make me not look so bad, because right now I'm not looking good. I don't think, I think maybe just one person throw something. So I need some of you guys to watch out. I'm going to share it again and maybe put up the no, I have to leave it with I think I shared the Facebook link. So please go ahead and support the cause. It's a very worthy cause. A lot of young people are benefiting. All right, you guys have a great night. See you next maybe Wednesday or next Sunday. Bless. I'm out. Peter, bye. Have a good night. Good. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Mr. Perk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.